And we are live. I'm going to share it in all the necessary groups while we just let numbers get in. The shirt's a bit tight, isn't it? How are you anyway, Jamie? Nice to see you.
And you, buddy, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, we were just discussing there off air, weren't we, about his hair and not having it cut. Have you had it cut in the lockdown?
No, mate, that's why I'm wearing a hat, to be honest. No, I think like yourself, you said you were sort of having fades. I was kind of having a bit of a softish fade around the back and the sides and length on top. But
I've
yeah, just,
I've done what you said, which is basically if his clients can't have it let it done. Let's see how far we can go. It's a bit like when your wife's pregnant and you say, I won't have a drink because you can't drink. I think I'm just continuing that.
well, mate, to be honest, I'm in this. Well, actually, two things. My wife is a hairdresser and my wife is pregnant. So
Exactly.
I'm not having my hair cut. And I think, Christ, I've lost count of how many weeks this is now in lockdown. What is it, 8 weeks?
8, I think.
Geez, so
8.
obviously with her being pregnant, normally we're not big drinkers, we're probably more what you call a binge drinker, to be honest. So just
Yeah.
never really drink through the week, just sort of, neck a bottle of wine in the weekends. But I haven't even been doing that, to be honest. I think I've only been pissed a couple of times in 8 weeks. It's pretty good.
It's funny because I don't drink, and I was saying this to you earlier. I do not drink casually. When people get it's Saturday, I'll have a beer. I don't even do that. And then since lockdown, I reckon it's a bit like, look, I've got whiskey and lemonade, mate. I'm going hard. I'm going harder.
Yeah,
I've
well,
gone
mate, didn't they basically? I know that. Well, shouldn't laugh, but in this kind of time, that they were saying it's either going to be loads of people are going to get divorced, or loads of people are going to have babies in 9 months. Or you're going to actually find that just for a bit of boredom and stuff. And I actually said it. I did an interview with Jane Lewis Saw on Hairdresser's Journal, and if Megan wasn't pregnant, we definitely would have been drinking like crazy in this time.
What if you're really unlucky? What if you have a baby and get divorced?
I don't know. It's not a good one, is it?
So I've shared it all in the groups now. So we were talking about it. We are live in bed with Jamie Stevens tonight. Vodcast 6. Thanks for coming, mate.
My pleasure. Just let everyone know, yeah. My son is his like routine is obviously a bit out. So now that we kind of have a date to go back to, me and my wife are just trying to sort of slowly get him back into his routine. And because I'm not normally here every single night, he's going nuts if I don't put him to bed. So we're trying to do a couple of nights a week where I'm kind of making out that I'm not here. So we just actually thought it's best because he is still downstairs kicking off because he doesn't want to go to bed. So I just thought, right, I'm just going to come up in the quiet bedroom. So we might come in and say goodnight. So if he does, I'll let everyone say hello.
That's fine, mate. We've done 40 lives now, and I think my children have been in 30 of them. So don't worry about it. What we're going to say on that note, it's a perfect time to bring this up because my sister is actually a huge fan of your wife.
Ah, yeah.
So different angle to your normal interviews, I guess.
No, not at all.
She's
Mate,
go on.
No. Honestly, so if people don't know that, so I can talk about how me and Megan met if you people want to know. But she obviously was a hairdresser. We, and again, I'm not sort of saying that, we've spoke about it quite a lot, and this is how kind of Megan's sort of blog and, sort of Insta-y sort of famous stuff came. We went through a really shitty process to have kids. Took us like 5 years, IVF and everything. And sort of a couple of years before that, Megan lost her mum and her dad sort of quite suddenly within a space of 6 months. So she lost a lot of weight. So that was one of the reasons. And then she just started doing an amazing thing. She just thought, actually her sort of blog and everything and just people, it really helped her and us through that time. So she started blogging and sort of posting about it. And she's now, like a bit of a, what do they call influencer?
Cheers.
And going on sort of that, like the last 2 years of every single place, like I've taught or educated in this country and in different countries before. The whole sort of thing was, oh, Jamie. But for the last 2 years, it's not actually been Jamie. It's been like, oh my God, your wife and your son are so beautiful. I follow her on Instagram. I'm like, whoa. What about me?
It's a bit of a change of direction, but my sister.
Sorry. But yeah,
No,
it's amazing. So it's nice to know that your sister is a fan.
Yeah, she is. She celebrated her 26th birthday yesterday. She has a little boy called Parker. who is 2. Oh my god, I should know that. And basically, yeah, they follow your story. I know, yeah, awful uncle. They follow your story. She's a huge fan. She told me not to mention it today because she follows your wife, so she wants your wife to follow her back. But I said I'd throw that in there because she cringes. And sorry. And she's that's probably her texting me, giving me.
It's probably what are you talking about?
But she loves your wife, and I want to go kind of into that because you were just saying then about you being at home more, and you've got your kid, and who is beautiful, by the way. He's a joke how good looking that little man is. And then my wife,
it's like his dad, mate.
Yeah, mate, 100%. And then my wife's like struggling because I'm at home all the time. She's like, I'm getting under her feet, I think, a little bit. But my sister's going through the same thing with her fella. The little man won't go to bed for her. It's just for the dad all the time.
I think, do you know what? I think, and I can probably talk for a lot of sort of families and, couples, 50% of me of like this sort of isolation time has been absolutely like, and I know it's hard to say because there's a lot of people in sort of shitty situations, but I've absolutely loved it just because, I've worked like a dog, and how long it took us to get, kids. I've loved every single minute of it, and it couldn't have been a better time because obviously Megan's quite heavily pregnant now. But on the flip of it, it is going to be so hard, for us and, for everybody else when we have to go back to normal. And especially for young kids, it is going to be so difficult of like, oh my God, where's mummy, where's daddy gone? I don't know how. It's going to be a really tough transition getting back into that. I think
that's a great thing to talk about because I'm almost embarrassed to say it because I don't want the reaction to be negative towards me because I'm actually, like you said, enjoying my time at home. And eventually there's going to be an anxiety within the adults of like having to go back to work and normality and leaving his family behind.
For sure. Look, I don't, I think it is, I'm always quite an honest kind of guy. I don't really like to, not fanny around, but I don't see the point in not saying stuff that you believe in. Gets me in trouble a couple times a year for sure. But, I actually said this again to Jane the other day. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think people should be feeling guilty in this time because I've actually had a couple of moments where I've thought, Christ, I haven't done as much as what I probably should have in this isolation time to, like fellow hairdressers, people that, look up to me. But then I just thought, what, we're never, ever, hopefully, fingers crossed, going to get this time ever again. To say that we've basically, had, 12 weeks to be with your loved ones and get bits done. And it's just been quality. So I do feel guilty a little bit, but equally at the same time, I don't because, we're never going to be able to get this again. So just enjoy it.
I'm glad you brought it up and we'll slightly take the note up a bit because there's a lot of comments coming in. I just want to bring them up before we move on because, first of all, Diane Wabick, has put, hi guys, she's from Illinois. So that's a furthest one, I think, yeah.
Lovely.
What time is it over there, guys? Anyway, Nicola Soul has put, she's not colouring her hair. See a client because she's got clients that have roots as well, so she's sticking by it. But then a lot of people I just want to touch on are saying about you and your missus and saying how strong she is and how sorry they are and how sad they are. And then back to the positives again. Lorraine Stevens.
That's my mum.
Yeah, I love. She's put. That's what she's put. I love.
It's a mum. Literally every single thing I ever do, she just puts "Hi, love."
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, bless. Biggest fan. We can talk about her and my history later if everyone wants to know about it.
Yeah, well, we'll do. Andrea Miller, who's my boss and your old colleague.
We can talk about Andrew as well because got to be careful what I say, but she's one of the best and most amazing people ever in the world, and we go through life making some decisions. Some we stand by, and some we regret, shall we say? And Andrea is not a regret. Yeah.
Well, she said, "Hello, beautiful people." And then the rest of them are just pleasantries in general. But yeah, let's kind of. And then my mum said hi, so I have to say that one. But yeah, like so, he said about going back to work, the anxiety. So, like, you've got how many salons have you got?
Mate, to be honest, with all of this, again, it's probably something I didn't really sort of touch on, but um, I grew sort of pretty quickly in a short space of time. So I had two shops for quite a while, and then in the space of like a year, 12 months, I doubled it. So I went to four, to like 60, well, I don't know how many staff. And looking back now, and that was all that sort of time is again of when I left Matrix and thought I wanted to do something else and really push the salons. I didn't give myself enough, I suppose, mental credit, because I think I was suffering a lot, like mentally, with the whole sort of, kiddie thing of not being able to have kids. And then I can pinpoint the minute that I actually started to make a few dodgy decisions. And it was when Megan, I think, was 8 months pregnant. And it was like, shit, like, this is real. It's taken us so long. Even if he's born now, he's going to be okay. And I panicked, even though, I had two very successful salons, I had my own product range in boots and, was doing what I was doing. I thought, right, I need more stability, blah, 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 blah. And it just made me realise that actually, I love this industry. I love what I do. But I was just spending more time driving around in my car, dealing with just absolute nonsense. And then I just thought, you know what, this is not why I got into hairdressing. I took on a couple of people to try and sort of make it better, but actually that kind of backfired. And so in a nutshell, I've actually, I owned my salon in Somerset, which is, I bought off my mum, Christ, like probably 15, 16 years ago. Because I never go down there anymore, even though my mum and dad are still there. They're desperately trying to move up to be nearer sort of me, my sister, and obviously the grandkids. I actually closed it down, and I've just been renovating it, turn it into like a 2-3 bed bungalow.
Wow.
And then my Kensington salon, which was like my sort of first big one in London, we had a lot of problems with our landlord and sewage in the basement because he had too many tenants upstairs and he wouldn't rectify it. So because I felt I'd bitten off a bit more than I can chew, I've got no partners, no investors, kind of everything I do is all sort of me. I decided to get rid of beauty that we had in our Clapham salon and basically double the size of that and then move our Kensington's team to Clapham. So technically I've now just got two big shops.
Yeah, and I spoke to Winning Ways on a live a couple of weeks ago, which are an education thing, if you've not heard of them, for business. And they basically said that the best way they've learned was to have bigger salons instead of more salons.
Oh, for sure. Look, I think, if I could wave a magic wand now, to be honest, and have like a super kind of sort of salon, everyone under one roof, 100% I would do it tomorrow. And I think I probably underestimated myself a lot in kind of who I am and, the name that I've built, because everyone obviously wants to come and work at Jamie Stevens, wants to work with Jamie Stevens. And I can't be there, in the salons, 5 days a week because I've got so much other stuff going on. So, and I also think, life is a learning lesson curve, and the best way to learn is actually from sort of making some mistakes and errors.
Well, interestingly, just to take sort of like the bit of the sting off that, because I don't want it to be sort of seen as a negative, because it's not that. I had a salon and I lost the salon because I had a business partner, and we were like two mini rock stars in our town as opposed to businessmen, and took the eye off the ball. We just enjoyed being famous in our town. We didn't really take the business side of it seriously. Yeah. And now I'm on my third location of a salon. So, yeah, I went in on my own somewhere else above another salon. Didn't want anyone to see me. I just wanted to do my work. Yeah. So I've gone from one extreme to the other. And then I realised now, like I said, I've got kids and a family and I want to invest in a salon now.
Yeah. Do you want to buy one in London?
No, mate. All right, thank you. I don't even know if I could work in London. I do it for Matrix a few times, but I don't know if I could live there permanently. I enjoyed being a tourist when I go, because I only go once a month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. I hate like the touristy stuff in London. Yeah, just gets on your nerves. But obviously, it's an amazing place, amazing people, but scary at the same time.
All right, well, Paul, hey, oh God's sake! So, thank you for being honest, Jamie.
Pleasure. I'm always honest. Like I said,
then,
it gets me in trouble a few times, but
to be fair, I can relate to that because I'm not educated in sort of broadcasting, and I'm not. I've recently become an artist on stage, so I'm going up there not using terminologies, and everyone in Matrix who's watching this now will probably be laughing because I say the wrong things and the wrong words at the wrong time, and you just got to be
mate,
yourself.
don't worry about. Mate, look, and I don't care. You never stop learning in this thing. And if Andrea and a few other people from Matrix are listening, trust me, mate, I used to get myself in trouble all the time. But there are rules and stuff to obviously abide by. Brand policies and stuff which you do have to adhere to, which is fine. But still keep a little bit of what you're about. Inject a little bit of personality because. Otherwise, for me, when you go on these places, you're not going to be natural if you're trying to be like a bit of a robot. And actually, that was one of the most amazing things working with Matrix, even though it is, obviously a corporate sort of big thing under L'Oreal. It's got its real true identity.
Well, I can say it. You can't say nothing. I can say it though. I went the other way. So I've gone from L'Oreal as an ID artist. Got offered a role as thingy, but I was, like I said, I was taught to pronounce L'Oreal properly instead of the way I say it, and you know what I mean. And it's a different world, it's a different environment, and I think that Matrix fit me because I was a little bit different and a bit rough around the edges. But I was lured in anyway. That's irrelevant. That's politics. But I was lured in by you because you came up to the Leeds bar to do a seminar or whatever they call them. And Chelsea rang me. Chelsea Thompson at the time. I don't know what her last name is now. And she rang me up. Armstrong. And she's rang me and said, come and see me. I want to talk to you about this role that I've got for you as an artist. Come and see me and watch Jamie for free. So I'm like, fucking right, I will do. Yeah, so I went I went and watched you for free. So I've signed up thinking, buzzing. This is what I'm about. I've worked for this. Going to work alongside people like Jamie. And then 2 minutes later, you fucked off. I've just signed over to the Matrix. How we got to?
Oh, mate, look. It's it's just all a life sort of lesson, and I've been sort of super honest. Matrix is, it's just, at one point, literally some of the people, me, Errol, Gary and Michael, Paul Fultrick, Ashley, Desmond, Christian, there was just it was like an insane thing. And it actually, I do not think like us or the brand got the recognition it actually deserved. But as a unit in a bubble, it was, I don't think, and it's a real heartbreaking shame, but I don't think it'll, I don't think you'll ever get a team like that again. And just the main reason, because I was in that sort of mindset of, I'd obviously built myself up to be, one of the main global ambassadors. So I was literally at one point, there was 1 year I was out of the country more than I was in it. And, again, from not really sort of sharing with everyone, but all of that time we were going through with the IVF, I think there was probably a bit of a release of, I'll take every single thing. But, obviously when Rudy was born, it was like, right, I don't want to be away as much because I want to be here and I want to focus on salons. And because predominantly Matrix is kind of, targeted and branded probably towards, more CD salons back then. But actually now with Biolage, I know they're separated. More beast salons, but because of my, my name, my reputation. Oh, sorry, someone wants to.
It's all right. Look how beautiful this little one is.
Come and. Oh, don't pick your nose. Give me a kiss. It's Simon. Hello. Say hello.
Hi.
Oh.
Look how beautiful he is. Rudy, hello, man.
Say good night, everybody. Can I have a kiss? Where's Daddy's kiss?
Come on then.
Sleep dreams.
Yeah, quick.
Oh,
sorry.
Night.
Night.
Love you.
Bye.
Oh, that was well done. Sorry.
It's all right.
He is a beautiful boy, mate. He literally is.
Joke,
just the main reason was, because Matrix, L'Oreal, Kerastase, Shumira, Pureology, more, sort of 5-star sort of salon, sort of quality premium-y sort of thing. And because I wanted to grow, we had a game plan of within 3 years we would open 10 salons. A year after that we would do like another 10, and it was just going to try and sort of be really aggressive to get to like 30, 40 salons across the country. But yeah, Jesus, I'm glad not for me.
Rachel Annan's put 2 years ago since we did that amazing show in Ibiza for Cult Launch. That was an amazing show.
That absolutely. Do you know what? Funny enough, whoever that was, I don't know if it was Chelsea or someone, but I saw some things that someone put up, like a time hop of 2 years ago in Ibiza on Facebook, and I literally was just thinking, literally some of the best times in the best years of my life. Yeah. Absolutely. Mate, you're gonna have a ball, I promise.
I know. Well, I've been there 2 years, and I'm slowly chipping away and climbing that ladder. I'm trying to make myself my own future, so that's the way I look at it. It's up to me to do it. Andrea Miller's put "Be yourself, guys." So I kind of want to go back to your story now, because I think we've got a massive captive audience here at the minute. So I want to go back to your story. And you said a minute ago you bought your salon off your mum in Somerset. So let's start there.
Yeah. So, if I just give then everyone a bit of a quick sort of rundown. So my mum, my nan, my great-granddad were all hairdressers. My mum, from a sort of really youngish age, 18, 19, opened her own salon in Somerset after moving down from sort of London area. Obviously had the whole sort of kids thing, blah, 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 blah. I probably from about the age of like 11, 12, 13, can't remember exactly, just started doing some hair. My mum, when she had my younger sister, then sold her salon and then went as a mobile hairdresser. And I just used to travel around, with her in the school holidays, starting from holding her bags in the hairdryer to passing up, and then I would do one and she would do one and I would brush them out, etc. And then in between that time, I was basically like ate, slept and drank football, and sort of nearly turned pro. Was at Bristol City, sort of a couple of other bigger clubs sniffing around, United and stuff. But I had a bad knee injury. It's sort of 15, 16, so finished. So it was just right. I always thought I was going to be like a rich, famous footballer, if I'm honest.
I'm going to say that before you go on that, how did you cope with that? Because I had to sort of accept that reality as well. I want to know how you cope with that, because it's hard, isn't it?
Tough, mate, tough. And again, I think as a young lad, when you talk about things like, anxiety and depression and stress, it was, you don't even know what it was about back then. So, but definitely looking back now, I found it really hard for years and years and years. I struggled to even watch football, because it was literally like, it was like watching an ex-girlfriend on the telly with another man. And because I had my dodgy knees, I did carry on playing for a bit, but then I actually did it again about 10 years ago, and I haven't played a game of football since.
What team did you support?
United.
The United fan?
Yeah.
We'll talk off air about that. I'll try and sort us out for a day out one day. I can get some tickets and that.
Who do you support?
I'm a Burnley fan.
Are you?
But I've done a few lads at United, but we'll go into that after this.
Mate.
But yeah, so you've gone from Somerset, you've carried your mum's bags, you've got shit knees,
yeah.
You can't kick a ball anymore, you've got to get over it, and then you've gone to London, didn't you, soon after that?
Well, I suppose in between that time, I'll just, if I can't be a famous footballer, then I want to do my utmost to try and be a, famous, successful hairdresser. So, head down, went straight to college, worked with my mum sort of full time in her shop. And then I think when I was about 18, my mum, I think just after, years of struggling with hairdressing, back and neck, she'd been the most unluckiest car driver and people had crashed into her. So she'd had whiplash and slip discs and stuff. So at 18, I basically took the salon over. We changed the name from hers, which was called Laurie's, to Jamie Stevens and Co. And basically from 18 to 22, I ran it really successfully, was super busy, earned money, got some good staff, trained my sister sort of between that time with me and my mum. And then, that's kind of when I decided actually, I want more than this, and sort of packed my bags and up with my best friend who was at Ealing in uni. And met a girl, moved in with her, and just scouted loads and loads of some of the biggest hairdressers, worked for them, struggled with some, and then found my feet, I suppose, realistically, when I kind of met Errol, if I'm honest.
So before we get on to Errol, actually, Adam Reed sent us a lot of love art, so thank you, Adam.
Hello, Adam. I love you.
He's an unbelievable human.
I actually did watch his thing, and I think I probably caught the sort of bit when he was saying, I like everyone, and I think everyone likes me. He is literally one of those guys, you could punch him in the face, and he would still be like, Jamie, I'm sorry that I made you do that. Like, literally, I actually would like to communicate with that man more, because he is one of the nicest human beings in the world. So, love you, Adam.
He genuinely is, like, a vouch for that. I've done a couple of jobs with him.
Shit hairdresser, but he's a really nice guy.
He's joking, by the way. So go on. Then. So go back to Errol then. You've met Errol now.
So actually, I worked. I thought, and again, I can tell you, it was in that time when the Celeb was on telly, and it was Adi Phelan and Paul Merritt. So the job that I went to was Daniel Hurchison, and his sort of policy of, unless you trained with them, you had to do a complete retraining thing. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm a small little boy from Somerset. Probably basic training. I wasn't allowed to touch hair for like a year. So bear in mind, I'd gone from running my own salon for 4 years. Yes, I was young, but then I was washing hair and sweeping up, and it would have been absolutely fine. But I was looking around the quality of work, and I actually thought, I could hold my own with you guys. So then I left there, went and worked at Beverly Cabela, who was the current British hairdresser at the time. Amazing lady, amazing hairdresser. I was there for a couple of years, but then when her and her husband Anestis split up, I basically got approached by lady to go and work their amazing salon, and I thought, right, this is amazing because I want to be just like them. Worked for them for 4 months, and actually thought, it was the biggest load of shit I'd ever done in my whole life. Didn't really respect either of them after. I can fast forward now. Massive respect for AD. Love the guy, and actually got on really, really well with him. And actually Paul, saw him a couple of times, and he's definitely a lot different and maturer. But I just realised at that point in my life it wasn't right for me. But I'd auditioned to get in the FAME team, which is the Fellowship for British Hairdressing, in 2006, and I actually got in. And it was around that time that Eric basically then approached me because I think he'd heard that I wasn't happy. And I worked for Errol for 6 years, up to his sort of artistic director. Obviously, he was of Matrix at that time. That's how I got my foot in the door with Matrix. Did loads of stuff, started supporting myself for sort of like all the British Hairdressing Awards shoots, and fast forward.
I've actually stolen a few of your images to put on the screen later on when we get on to last year, but I'll save them for later because I'm a similar story to you. So I kind of follow in your path, but at first it was accidental, and then I've seen your similarities and thought, right, well, that's my sort of path now.
Yeah.
I'm a women's hairdresser, more successful in men's hair at the minute. So you won awards, I haven't. X Factor, so I went to X Factor and I got the job with Adam Reed. So yeah, similar sort of paths. So I've only picked out the men's image of the years that you've entered collection.
Yep.
So I've got them to show later on, but we'll go into that later. So Adam Reed said he loves you, by the way.
Love you, Adam.
Andrea said they love the Errol and Jamie days.
Yeah, they were the best days.
So I've not actually met Errol Douglas. Unfortunately, I've never got a chance to work with him. But he's some guy, and his work's incredible.
Oh, mate, I'll after this, I'm sure all of the people that are on this amazing thing. Actually, Simon, let me just jump in and quickly just, I think, blow a little bit of smoke up your arse, mate, because I'm not even going to sort of talk rubbish. I haven't actually seen a lot of your work, if I'm super honest. I did see that Matrix was doing some bits with you. But I have to say, mate, what you have kind of done, in this time with this hair socials thing is like massive, massive hats off to you, mate. I think if you keep it going, I think you can make some big waves just with this. So honestly, well done.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, it's a bit sad, to be fair, because I always wanted to be up there for my hairdressing, but it seems that it's going to be probably my social media presence.
Mate, listen. Honestly, if actually there's one sort of thing that I can, truly sort of say, you've got the likes of, I'm still relatively young, but, in this day and age, there's so many awards, right? There's so much competition. Social media is actually 100 times bigger platform and the biggest way to elevate yourself. So, if I was in your shoes now, I would be actually focusing more on this, and then the rest of it will follow, mate. I promise you.
Well,
so
I don't know where it's going to go, because
don't put yourself down about that.
Thank you, mate. There was only you have to follow me on Instagram later. You can see my haircuts. But yeah, there was only 3 weeks of a plan in my head, so I've had to extend that for 7 weeks. I managed to do it. You came on very early on, by the way. I just want to say thanks for that, because you came on when I was saying I've got an idea. And you came aboard with it. You didn't. It wasn't even a 10,000 following platform that it is now. Adam Reed said straight away yes. Obviously, I've worked with Adam, so that's amazing of him. Yeah. But just to sort of like get this investment back that I feel like I've put out there is incredible, because that's like an award in itself, isn't it?
No, absolutely.
But after this, I've got a plan to sort of like come and do it more visually, more live, and maybe come to people like yourself if I'm lucky enough to come to the salon and say hello and see what you do, and do it sort of more visually rather than just over Skype.
Mate, for sure. Look, mate, I think I think if you keep this going, I noticed if you had Gary and Michael Hooker and Young.
Yeah, we had them last week.
Yeah, good guys, right?
Oh man, it's sort of funny.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. But going back, I'll tell you what. Where's my phone? I'll do it right now. I'll get you some more people for everyone. I'll message Errol. I'll get Errol. I'll get Angelo Seminara for you guys. Who else do you want? You should get Uckin.
Well, that's the audience. Like, let's see, who else do you want? I've messaged a few that haven't got back to me yet, because we're not friends on Facebook. They might not have seen it. So
I'll do it for you, mate. I'll do it for you. Got loads of numbers in this phone.
But
Errol will do it. Well, I can't tell you that.
What am I going to say to you then? So you've done the Errol thing, yeah? We talked about Errol. We talked about the BH. Someone's asked actually for tips before we carry on your story. Daryl Starkey Gettings, he's tomorrow's artist live. He's doing a first time BHA entry. Yeah. He just wants to know if there's any tips you could throw at him, please.
Oh, I know Daryl. He's doing very, very well. I've got a lot of respect for that young boy. So Daryl, keep it going, young man. Very impressive. Do you know what? I can give some sort of basic tips, but I've also sort of said with loads of interviews that I've done, if anyone in this sort of time, my wife actually helps me a lot with my social media, as in like messages if I can't do it. So if anyone does want to sort of, if they don't already follow at Jamie Stevens Hair, and if there's any more personal sort of questions, I'm quite happy to answer them privately. But just general, someone like myself, who's always had amazing support from, L'Oreal, Matrix, towards sort of shoots and stuff. You can, the most I've ever spent on one shoot was 36 grand, which I know, it's absolutely insane. But, you've got all your big boy photographers, who can be like, anything from 3 to 6 grand a day. Plus you then got retouching, then you've got studio fees, food, drink, models. You've got to pay extra for usage. Models minimum will be £400 plus agency fees plus VAT for half a day, which is 4 hours. But if you've got even if I had that sort of money now to spend, I wouldn't spend it. So tips. There are 100% tips that you can do. Men, right, for me, and I know I don't want this to sound horrible, but it's much easier to shoot an average-looking guy than it is to shoot an average-looking girl.
Yeah.
Don't always get hooked up on, sort of really beautiful features, because sometimes beautiful women don't look beautiful on camera. More sort of androgynous or, quirky-looking girls normally shoot really well.
Yeah.
Hair is like the most important thing. So, a lot of people spend time going out and getting trying to find beautiful models and then think, shit, what am I going to do to hair? I would always say primarily focus on hair being the hero, because that's what it is. With good lighting, retouching, to be honest, I think a lot of people do overtouch, and I've been known to probably do it a bit too much back in the day. But, just with people's apps on their phones now, You know, you don't actually have to go to all of that crazy stuff. Like Daryl, I've noticed he's, you know, done a little studio himself in his house. You know, I'll tell everyone a really quick story. Years and years and years ago, I think it was my second time of winning men's hairdresser of the year. There was an empty pub opposite my salon. I got 8 like professional models, professional photographer, all the lighting equipment, everything. You know, there was probably a 10 grand shoot. My photographer basically got burgled the night of our shoot, and they stole his computer, and he hadn't backed up the pictures, so I'd lost everything. So luckily, I had a good connection with the agency. I called all the models back, and literally just one by one, they stood outside my salon, and I literally took pictures of them on my iPad, right? I did a bit of like getting rid of some blemishes and spots, made it black and white, punched it up a little bit, and I won Men's Hairdresser of the Year with that collection.
Fucking hell. That's like madness, innit?
So, you know, some like tips, you know, makeup artists definitely don't scrimp on makeup. You know, photography, if you can either do some practicing yourself on Photoshop or some of these apps, or, you know, tap into some local like colleges or universities and find people that are studying photography, and then try and collaborate with some people, because it's in their interest to do some work without charging, because they're going to get pictures to put in their portfolio.
Yeah.
Like clothes stylists, definitely it's always easier to work with a stylist, but if you don't have a budget for a clothes stylist, make sure you can get someone to help you with clothes, because if you're there trying to focus on doing all the right hair, checking on set, checking the pictures, checking everything, you don't really want to be running in and out checking the model's clothes. But do yourself mood boards, and if you do a really good mood board for clothes, you know, we always used to do it. Go into like Topshop or Zara or H&M, buy the clothes you want, keep the labels in, put them on the models, take the clothes off, take them back, get your money back.
Yeah.
Like we used to do that all the time.
This is the beauty of hair socials, mate. We're not endorsed. We're not followed by anybody. Do what you want. Say what you want.
No, absolutely. But look, I don't. You know, I've got lots of people that I massively respect who are stylists and makeup artists and stuff. So everyone's got a role to play. But you know, especially in this day and age, you know, with what is going on, you know, people are not going to have the money. You know, myself, you know, we were just about to do some shoots for the British Hairdressing Awards. I don't know if everyone has seen the new rules.
I've seen the article. I've not read the rules to the depth. I've read it though.
So basically, you know, before, if you got through the first round, you know, it's 4 pictures. If you got through, you had to submit another 4. Now they're only doing a whole collection of 6. So you can basically shoot in one day, less models. And now they're actually sort of saying that if you've, I don't know, let's just say that, you know, I've probably shot 15 men's collections in my career. I will have an abundance of ones that I've not used. So they're basically saying you can actually mix and match old collections now.
I've seen that as long as they've not been entered before.
Not if they've won as a full collection, but you can pick out certain ones from, not if they're winners, I don't think.
Right, okay. Andrew's saying, Andrew Miller said, Simon, you should totally put together a men's collection. Well, it's something I've been meaning to do, and then every year I seem to find an excuse to get away with it. But I will do it, I promise you I'll do it, I promise. If Matrix want to help me, that'd be even better.
Mate, listen, I'll happily, I'll tell you what, I'll, because of what you've been doing, if you, I'll help you get it all set up. And if the time around when you shoot, if I'm not out of the country or doing something, I'll travel up and I'll give you a hand.
I'd love that, mate. And we'll fast forward because I'm conscious of your time because you got a little one and a wife and stuff, and we've been 40 minutes and we haven't even started your story really. We've only just got to London.
Mate, I'm here. Don't worry. Megan's downstairs, I think.
You might need to turn the bedroom light on, mate. We're losing you. In bed with Jamie. There we go. I can see him again.
Literally in bed.
So yes, people are commenting saying like, thanks for helping me mood board. Tracy Dunbar said, thanks for helping me with my mood board years ago. Your feedback helped me massively.
My pleasure. Look, one thing again, going back to sort of advice is I've, everyone has sort of little slats and, doesn't sort of follow through with a lot of stuff. But my sort of mantra is kind of been, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yeah.
So when you are doing a shoot, a mood board, I see some amazing mood boards, but I also see some like crazy mood boards. A mood board should be, when you look at it instantly, you should know what vision it's going to be. So people get carried away with putting too much information on a mood board. My suggestion is, if you're trying to get 8 looks, really you should have 8, mood boards for hair, and don't put, 25 pictures of loads of variations of a bob. Try and find a relevant picture which is really really similar to kind of what vision you want it, and that is technically all you need, right? You don't need, you can put maybe some color references, but don't, put loads and loads and loads of ones on. Do separate mood boards as well for makeup. And again, if you're going to do a smoky eye, don't put, 25 variations with red and black and blue and green, because it can be confusing. You want that makeup artist to look at that mood board and be like, right, that is what I want.
Yeah.
Same with clothes, same with lighting. What kind of mood do you want it? Do you want it close? Do you want it out? Do you want poses? And if you do all of that, do mood boards for each one, because then, unless you've got experience of working with models, I can bust some moves out, mate, when I'm on set. So, but if you're someone who's working with a non-professional, they will be really nervous. So actually the best thing, if you can sort of say, look, I want you to copy this pose, and that is where your mood board comes in. So mood boards, are really underestimated for me.
Yeah,
they're
massively.
amazing.
They are massively. Yeah. I never even heard of what a mood board were until I entered the RD team. And they said to me, come with your mood board. I'm like, what the fuck's a mood board? So I had to sort of reinvest in people that were friends saying, listen, mate, you went to uni. What's a mood board, mate? Yeah. They had to help me out. It's hard, though, to create a first mood board. I remember creating a first mood board. And I hope to God not Steve Rowbottom and people that actually interviewed me aren't watching this, because my first mood board, mate, was all over the place. I'm not going to lie. I had no idea. I read that brief and I thought I'd nailed it. I come out of that meeting thinking, what the fuck have I just done? It made no sense whatsoever. So getting mood boards right.
But look, this is what life is all about, It's a learning curve. You have to do something, maybe then get advice of actually, how could you improve? How could you do it better? And then the next time you do it, you'll do it well. This is what life's all about.
I got it the second time. I did the second audition, got the second audition. So yeah,
there we go.
You are right. But so we've gone to you've got your Earl Douglas, you've got your 6 years, because then that must have been incredible. And now you've kind of gone on to sort of another level.
So I suppose from sort of then, obviously, I've had an amazing sort of, TV sort of presence, if you like, over the years. And that actually sort of started, I'm not going to, Errol, it was absolutely incredible, but, he absolutely, supported me and pushed me, but it was my drive. I, at one point was earning like £1,600 a month, and I paid his PR, who's Sally Learmouth, who's still my PR at Gloss Communications now. I was paying her like £600 out of my own pocket to do more, to do extra for me, because I wanted that goal. I kind of left, I think I was like the creative director for GHD. And then that's when I think, kind of was getting to know Andrea and Darren at the time with Matrix, and I got them put on as a guest artist, and just kind of, just built myself up from there. Like I said, I paid for my own 2 shoots. And when I first won Men's Hairdresser of the Year, I think in 2008, that's, I suppose, where my TV kind of stuff started, because I had a phone call from Gok Wan's agent. If some of your younger, older viewers will know him or not know him, he was...
That's mad that people might not know him.
Well, I don't know, but he obviously hasn't been here. So she just called, sort of saying, look, I've seen you're technically like the best men's hairdresser Gok's looking for a new hairdresser. Would you be interested in cutting his hair? So, came in the salon. Then I cut his hair a few times at his house. And then just out of the blue, I think it was one really early Sunday morning, he called me in a massive panic. Like, fuck, Jamie, can you... our hairdresser's basically cancelled and he's not coming for the filming. Can you pull a team in? Fortunate, my wife, my sister, lots of people I knew at Errol's as well. So I literally just pulled in a team. We went and did it. Producers and everyone after was like, right, we're keeping you and your team in. And I think I did How to Look Naked for like 3 seasons. Then I started winning more awards, doing more travel, picked up quite a few more celebs. Then I won a few more other awards, but the biggest kind of one I think was back in the day, the Clothes Show used to do Young Hairdresser of the Year and Celebrity Hairdresser of the Year. And I won Celebrity Hairdresser of the Year for like 2-3 years in a row.
That's mad.
And then that's when I got a call from X Factor to go and audition. Because actually I took over from Adam.
Yeah.
Because Adam, and then I did it for 4 years. I quit for a year, and then another guy did it, and then I went back for a year, and then I just said, right, that's it. And then Adam obviously is doing it again. And then I got contacted by ITV to be the resident hairdresser on This Morning for 2 years. And then I stopped, and then kind of back doing loads of stuff on the rain for ITV and a little bit every now and again for This Morning.
So we'll go back a little bit because that's like a lot of
Sorry,
TV. Weren't
I
it?
know, I know.
No, this is like me just saying like fuck me, like that's someone's dream to have half of that, and you've done 2 times the sort of normal. Because let's be fair, most hairdressers' big success is 1 show, but you've had like 4, like massive shows. I mean,
yeah, and I think I suppose if you look back at it, the things like This Morning and Lorraine are amazing because there's their proper airtime. X Factor was incredible. How to Look Good Naked was incredible, but I literally didn't get any screen time whatsoever. So when I actually quit X Factor, everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And for me, it was like, you know what? It's kind of served its purpose. Without I've had over 100 nominations. I think 47 wins I've had. But everywhere I went, everyone was calling me the X Factor hairdresser. And it just kind of, I just thought, you know what, I've done more than that. I don't want to be known as just the X Factor hairdresser. So I felt that I'd sort of maximised it as much as I could. It was getting harder and harder with sponsors and all of that stuff. So I thought, for me, it's better to go out on a high than basically get fired.
Well, before I ask you more about that, because I just want to you can't see the comments, and I keep reiterating this to people, so I'm highlighting them as we're going. Andrea Miller said, loving this trip down memory lane. So many people are saying now, like, they're loving this trip down memory lane, and not just that, like, inspirational is a word that I've just got in front of me by Julie. Amazing by Emma Emze. And Adi Phelan's just popped in as I speak, saying, what's up?
AD, you've missed your plug, mate. You've missed your plug. I've already spoken about you doing amazing things. Bless you.
Elena Celieris, who I want to give another big shout out to, because we kind of like found this girl by accident on her social. She did one live, and it's probably one of the most successful videos we've done.
Wow, amazing.
So she's doing another one, and she said, what amazing career you've had, Jamie.
Bless you, thank you.
So you've done the X Factor, right? I want to ask this question because, like, when I told my friends and family, "Hey guys, I've got the X Factor gig, I'm flying, I'm going down," you always think of like that one artist that could do something, you know what I mean? And then obviously if you can stay as their hairdresser, that's a massive build up in your career, in it. So like, for example, you're Ollie Murs, you're Rylan Clarks, your One Directions. There's been some big things come out of this. How many of them boys have you? So like, what's your name that you can say that was?
Oh, mate, to be honest, so obviously Adam, I think, to be honest, without sort of dissing the show, but I think Adam, obviously with the One Direction boys, they were like that was kind of when it was incredible. I then sort of took over from, the year after that. So I think our first winner was, I don't even know who it was, James Arthur. So yeah, so in the sort of time, we build up obviously a relationship, and I'm very much a people person. If I don't get any kind of artist, and I've worked with some big celebrities, and if I just don't click with them, for me, hair is not my job, it's my life. So I have to enjoy working with people or someone. So there was plenty of people on that show which, I would never have worked with, but yeah, like James Arthur, amazing, Little Mix, amazing. Ollie obviously wasn't my time. I think he was 1Ds or the year before, but I picked him up as a sort of client. Well, I don't do his hair full time. When his full time hairdresser is away, I look after him.
Shit myself then, mate, because I thought, I'm sure he does his hair. Why have I fucking brought that up there?
No, I do. Just not obviously all the time, mate. I can't, with the nature of what I do, I can't look after people full time because, Ollie, literally, his hairdresser, is 5-6 days a week with him,
Really?
Actually. Yeah. Because like people like that are so busy, mate. So busy. Like if you look at Lou Teasdale, I don't know if you've heard of her. She literally, looked after One Direction. She's got something like, I can tell you right now, just for when you're talking about going back to what we were talking about Instagram, social media. Don't shoot that down.
No, yeah.
Because
I mean, just while you found that I can relate to how difficult. Sorry, go that way.
Lou Teasdale. He's got 3.8 million followers.
That's a joke.
And that's basically from picking up One Direction at that time.
Exactly, so, So there's always that one in there.
Yeah, for sure. But I actually don't think, to be honest, since like a One Direction, I don't think there's been, you can say James Arthur, Little Mix. I don't think there's really been anyone else since, those sort of times, basically.
It's pretty cool still. I mean, Nicholas Halls asked a good question. Did you also do the judge's hair? Now, I know the answer to this, but...
Some, but not. So I always cut Louis Walsh's hair on the show, and still sort of whenever he's in London. Worked with like Cheryl, Nicole, Sharon a couple of times, but they all had their own sort of team. Simon, I think in my second year, on a regular basis was asking me, would I cut his hair? My answer was exactly the same every single time. I will cut your hair if you let me do what I want, but I will not be told what to do.
So you wouldn't want to put that middle part in it for him? No.
It's
weird,
no. So I think I actually got more respect from him for basically saying, I will do it, but I'm not having that haircut on my reputation. So let me do what I want. Let me change it, or no.
I've stolen a class picture here. Now, you've not seen this, but I presume you'll know what picture I'm on about when I talk about it. But I've got a picture of what looks like Ryland Clark being papped in a salon.
Oh, my salon. Yeah. That's when we... actually, I can obviously... Ryland is a very, very, very lovely human being, good friend, kept in contact. He's done amazing things, but just not in singing, ironically. But yeah, that was when we were doing makeovers in my salon. I think that Pat picture, and that's when I shaved his beard off, if I remember.
Well, the picture I've got is he's kind of like the fringe. The hair's been sectioned backwards on the side, and the top section's coming over his face. I could have prepped you, mate, but I'm not very good at this bit. So yeah, but yeah, he's basically I've just put it up, and because I thought it was a good time to sort of bring in that you've done Ryland Clark's hair and. You've, like you said, you're Ollie Murs and people like that, so I had that sort of backup ready in case you didn't want to talk about it.
No. Mate, look, just from actually, X Factor, God, where there was like, Beyonce, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, not working with all the time, Christian Slater, I've done a lot of people. Just actually not so much sort of since, my focus was more salons and my products and obviously the Matrix stuff at the time. That was taking up majority of my time.
So you've now gone to, you've done all this TV where you met, and like I say, I'm conscious of your time, so I am skipping a bit.
Don't worry.
You've done your TV, you've done your this much. Like Lorraine, for example, I nearly got on Lorraine once.
Did you?
Not doing hair though, so don't worry. There was no competition. I don't think I'd have got it. But I got asked to go on, and I'd just done. I was in Russia doing the England team at the World Cup, and they said, "Oh yeah, will you come on?" And they said, "Yeah." So we booked me a first class ticket. They'd done this, they'd done that, and they said, "Have you done Southgate's hair?" And I said, "No, not yet. I'm doing it on Wednesday." and they cancelled me. They scratched me off because I hadn't done Southgate's hair at that time.
Oh, really?
I was devastated, mate. I was literally like, I went on the rain in the morning. I smashed it. Anyway, I did cut Southgate's hair on the Wednesday, but they never rang me back, so I was gutted.
Very fickle, Telly. Very fickle.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I think they rang me up, and England had got beat. That's what killed me. So because England had got beat, they rang me up saying, did you do Southgate's hair? I'm like, no, it's right. We haven't really got an angle for football today, so we're going to have to cancel it. And then they just left it. I'm fucking gutted over it.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, so go on. What's your favourite TV show that you've worked on then? Because you mentioned obviously the highs and the lows of the X Factor.
Oh, mate, I'd probably have to all day long. It would be the X Factor. It was just, because at the time, the people at the time I had a lot of sort of people coming in from Matrix, just to spread out the sort of love throughout, our UK team, to give people the opportunity to come on, a bit like Adam did with you guys.
Yeah.
Had most of the key members from my team, but it was more of a, it was like a family sort of thing. It was work, but equally, we were at the X Factor, we were partying with bloody fucking Lady Gaga coming in our room, drinking tea, and it was just bonkers. So we definitely had many, many, many more amazing highs than lows on X Factor. It was just our life and love every Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
The Emma Willis's
I've personally never done Emma, but Megan used to look after her for quite a while.
Megan? Sorry, right. I thought that then because I remember. Did you style it for her or something? No, or not? Have I made that up as well?
No, I don't know.
It might have been Megan then, because I remember watching it,
Yeah.
and I came across you when I was looking who did her hair, so that was interesting. So it must have been because of Megan, but
yeah,
she got sick haircut. To be fair, I like that haircut.
No,
Did Megan do it when she had it all cut off at the back? That was a fresh haircut. That.
Yeah, she's just not been doing it probably for the last 3-4 years since she's been sort of blonde and got a bit longer.
I like that one. Was it Big Brother one?
Yeah, she was definitely cooler when it was Big Brother, and that's when Megan was doing it.
Megan Waters put, Matthew Waters put, massive thanks to both of you for doing this. What a great insight. And he's also said you're a big inspiration early, but I didn't get a chance to read it. He's had a similar path to you. I don't know if you follow Matthew Waters, but he's probably one of them guys, if I could recommend many people to watch.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not being rude, I'm going to follow, so... Who is it?
It's Matthew, but with one T. I got it wrong when I announced him.
Mathew.
And then space WATT.
Follow. No, I'm following him now.
Yeah, he had a similar story. It was a footballer that didn't make it and ended up being a hairdresser. But that's quite similar to a lot of us male hairdressers.
Yeah, I think I've seen or spoke to Matthew quite a few times.
He's a good guy. He's very good on camera.
Yeah.
He's really cool. So yeah, let's skip forward now. So you did your BHAs because Andrea asked me earlier in the interview to talk about the BHAs, but I was saving that for near the end. So let's talk about the BHAs. You entered last year. You got nominated for Men's Hairdresser of the Year.
What
did you win though? You won something else.
Well, mate, I'm not, Jim's, I think it's Jim Shaw won men's, but how, I am always the first one to be like, didn't deserve to win that. But my men's hair collection last year when I did that one guy, how, I've never had so many people come up to me and just been like, what the fuck? Yeah. How didn't you win that? And even like me, I was a bit like, wow, okay, fine. But Alex Morton, who is one of our sort of senior stylists, she actually won newcomer last year.
That was it, yeah. I seen the newcomer, Jamie Stevens. I didn't realise it was someone else, sorry.
Yeah, one of my guys, I'm not going to mention his name because he doesn't work for me anymore, shot
Mr.
his
X.
collection, Mr. X, and he was up for Afro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to be honest, the plan was sort of this year was to, I love doing the awards and, for me, I actually didn't get nominated for British last year, which, again, of course, when you don't get the phone call and you see it, it is a bit of a kick in the teeth. But, I'd been nominated 7 years, six years in a row, youngest person in history to be sort of nominated. And obviously when I had that kind of year off with Rudy of not sort of travelling and the swap from Matrix to L'Oreal, lost that. But for me now, it is more about investing in my sort of team. I actually get more enjoyment out of being there and seeing Alex win newcomer and seeing my guys' names being called out and seeing them win awards like Colour Trophy, and that gives me more of a buzz now than actually doing it myself. So
I think that's
I think
cool,
as
mate.
long,
I think that's
as
really
long
cool
as
because
I've got the sort of passion, the drive, and the commitment, and the right team, I will push them and shove them through doors. Well, actually, I used to shove everyone through a door, but I sort of learnt a few mistakes that actually, some people need to want to open the door themselves, because you can give people too much too early, and then they take it for granted.
really.
Yeah.
Someone else mentioned this to me. It was Hooker and Young when we were interviewing them. They said they won it first. I thought, fucking hell, this is well easy, and then they didn't win it for 10 years
Yeah.
because they won it on the
Mate.
first entry.
Mate, well, same. I actually, my first ever, I think I won, London, so London, Afro, men's, literally 6 years in a row, I'd won men's hairdresser of the year 3 times. And then, to be honest, mate, we've had a real, apart from Alex winning last year, I don't think I've won a British for 5 years.
Well, I'm going to put the pictures up now while you talk about it, because I have put them up earlier, but then... so I've got 2 images I've got out of your collection are the 2 most contrasting ones that I could find, really. So you've got the wet look, sort of down forward look that you created on him. And then you've got the sort of victory roll quiff, if you will.
Yeah.
I've got them 2 images up because I didn't want to put them all up because it cluttered the screen. But they're the 2 sort of like standout images for me that I just
send me a
think
picture because I can't see which ones you've got.
Yeah,
send me a picture on my Facebook.
So I'm just sending this to Jamie if everyone's wondering why I'm taking a picture of my screen. But yeah, I kind of love these images, and I'm going to tell you why the second when I send them. Yeah, there you go, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you've got on the left-hand side of my screen, I don't know, it's projected out, but you've got the victory rolly quiff. That's the best description I can give, because this does go out as a podcast later, so for people that can't see it.
Yeah.
That quiff, that control, and you can see that his hair just slightly is pretty much perfect for that length of what you're doing. You've pushed that to the absolute maximum there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is a ridiculous... Number one, the model, let's just get him out of the way. That jawline, that cheek, what a fucking joke he is.
Mate, I can tell everyone now, right? I'm gonna well, there's another set of awards, couple of awards I've entered these into, and I had so many comments, a couple of people, as you always get, some negative of like, oh fucking hell, you retouched his face so much. So I posted the unedited versions of them, and literally that is his face, I promise you. That is his face. We did very, very, very minimal retouching on any of that. We took away a few blemishes, but literally that jawline, those cheekbones are all him.
You can see with his beard, mate, there's not that much sort of editing.
Honestly,
but
yeah.
I'll put him back up now because I took him down so you could talk. But just the control of that hair, for anyone who doesn't do men's hairdressing as a standard, you'd probably think that's easy, but that's more difficult than doing a female version. To create that strength and that sort of dip in the middle is phenomenal. And then the cut is square as it can possibly be. So I'm a massive fan of this as a men's hairdresser. And then the wet look one, I just did it to show that you've done more than one look on one model.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that collection, I'll say it for you, mate, and you've said it already, but how that did not win. I've not seen the winning collection, though, in my defence. But how that did not win is incredible.
Oh, it's a beautiful look. Jim Shaw's an amazing hairdresser. I'm not, dissing whatsoever, but I just thought mine was better.
Yeah. I ain't seen it, mate, and I'm telling you it's better. Fucking hell, I've seen people win in years that aren't as good as that.
If I'm super honest, for me, when you just have, I had to, because actually the idea came from my British hairdresser of the year 2 years ago. I did exactly the same. I got one girl and went from really long to short, and again, I would have absolutely won that, but Sally Brooks, definitely sort of just pipped me on that one. But if Sally didn't do that bloody collection, I think I definitely would have won British as well.
But I mentioned that about you the other day. They said that you'd done the perfect photo shoot. They couldn't have done it any better, and they were mentioning, I presume, that one where they said you've done one girl and you've done 5 looks.
Yeah. 8 actually.
Sorry, they might have said 8.
But, just going on sometimes when, even for me, I'm always creative. I'm always trying to push boundaries. I don't think I can better that men's collection. So I don't even know if I'm going to enter men's hairdresser of the year again. Just because I just think, you know what? I don't personally think I can better that with the concept and everything.
As much as I agree with that sort of mindset, it would be a travesty to not see that type of work as a standard at the BHAs.
No, I know, of course. And the only reason, to be honest, again, going back, I don't want to contradict myself, but, I've had some, there was a guy, Jonathan, sister's husband, he was working with me, and then he had a real love and strength for men. So for me, I was like, look, I get more satisfaction from, pushing you. He got in the final a couple of times, and then he obviously left and sort of went off and done his own thing. And that's the only reason why I kind of thought there was nobody in my company at the time who was strong enough in men's hairdressing for me to warrant, even just, I didn't want to do it and then put their name to it. So that's when I actually decided, you know what, I think, in the Hall of Fame for men's hairdressing with one other person of winning it 3 times. So now my new goal was actually, I want to be the only one to have won it 4 times. So that's why I kind of came out again. So I probably will do it this year.
You better do it this year. If you don't do it this year, I don't know.
I'll
find a threat and I'll throw it to you.
If not, I'll help you do yours.
Yeah, mate. If you help me do mine one day, I'll do it under Jamie Stevens' brand. Not a problem.
Fine. You'll have
Deal.
to come and work in my salon one day a week, though.
Yeah, all right, then, deal. I'll do that. So you've done that. You said you're going to enter this year. But I mean, is there anything else you want to touch on? Because we kind of skirted over a lot because we've been doing it an hour and 10 minutes now. But we've kind of skirted over a big part of your career there.
Mate, to be honest, I just think, a lot of people, obviously, my sort of biggest achievement, I've won Fellowship Hairdresser of the Year. That was a really big moment in my career. Predominantly because it's, you're nominated, you don't have to do a collection or anything like that. It's actually, you are nominated by the peers in our industry. So to get that was probably, and it was a complete surprise. Rudy was only 2 weeks old when we went to the awards. I was like, I don't want to fucking go to the Dorchester at 11 o'clock. Our son's only 2 weeks old. You're knackered, I'm knackered. So when we got there, I was kind of thinking, this is weird. And then when they started, Ken Picton did a the X Factor kind of theme, and I was like, fuck, is that me? But obviously the biggest sort of probably achievement is my men's haircare range, which is now sort of sold globally, Boots, Waitrose. We've got some really, really exciting, really big, exciting sort of stuff that's kind of happening, which I would love to talk about, but I just can't at the moment.
Well, his range is called Mr. You missed that bit out.
Sorry. It's called Mr. Jamie Stevens. It is a really good men's range, I'm not going to lie. From years and years and years and years of being in our industry, I've had some amazing stuff I've worked with, and I've had some shit, and I basically have just picked out all the amazing stuff and tweaked it in brand new formulations for every single thing. But predominantly it's for helping reduce the rate of hair loss and covering, disguise, thinning hair.
Awesome.
So yeah, big plans, man, big plans. So we'll have a chat again in a couple of weeks or months, and I'll share with everything what's going on with it.
Well, we discussed it earlier, didn't we? And I want to kind of take this show on the road eventually if I've got time, if Matrix might back me and give me time to do it. I've got a salon to run as well and 3 kids, so I will try my best. But Andrea said you have to enter the BHAs because your industry needs you.
Oh, bless. I will. I will, Andrea. I will. And, mate, you need to definitely keep this going. Work on Andrea. They've got deep pockets, L'Oreal, mate. They'll support you.
Yeah, mate. I've not seen them pockets yet, though. Don't worry about that. But to be fair, Matrix have supported me mentally and emotionally and physically as much as they probably needed to.
Mate, look, this is not the Matrix blow smoke up our show, but you're in really, really good hands. It's an amazing brand. There's some amazing people there, some amazing products. and said it many a time. To be honest, if I could wave a magic wand, I probably would be talking to you in a different situation right now. But hey ho, that is life.
That will change, mate, one day, I'm sure.
But man, I think, if you just want to sort of finish, I know, I think it's been really good that we've not really spoken about the corona thing, because I think it is, it's a pretty shitty old sort of time for people. But I think we've all touched on it quite a lot. Just, we are in what we are, unfortunately. And if anyone is watching who is doing this mobile hairdressing thing, I think they've got to be really careful.
Should we go into that before you go?
Well, I don't, mate. I think, look, there's two things.
Not to throw you in there, just because I've been asked to cut hair, and I wanted to vent about it. So go on.
Mate, my thing is, right. I'm not lucky because I've worked super fucking hard all my life, but I'm fortunate that I'm in a position where, like I said before, I'm using this time actually as, like a really lovely, glorified, relaxing holiday, being a dad and getting to know my son, and teaching and loving every single thing of it, right? But I've got security, I've got money in the bank, so I don't really have to worry. But then on the flip of it, I've got some staff members, who are single parents, and are literally, up shit fucking creek. So 50% of me completely understands it, right? And actually, if I was in someone else's shoes, I would probably be cutting hair secretly. And even though as a professional hairdresser, that breaks my heart to say, but, money is money. And unfortunately, it is our clients that are making it tough, because I'm getting messages all the time from certain team members saying, oh, Jamie, so-and-so's offered me double to go to their house. And you're thinking, do you know what? If you're literally up shit creek and you're living on baked beans, you've got to do what's right for you. I don't condone it. And if I actually find out publicly, you will no longer work for me. But, if
you can understand the stress, can't you?
I absolutely can. But then on the flip of it, you're going to put yourself up for bloody risk. I don't think people are really taking this. When you see all of the stuff, whether people are cutting hair with no masks on, which they shouldn't be, or people are walking out or going shopping, it's just crazy. It is so crazy scary. So on one hand, being really honest, I get why people are doing it, but, there is other ways, hopefully, where you can get around not doing it. But we've actually just sent an email out to all of our clients, and some people think I'm crazy, but we've just actually had to sort of say, please guys, stop getting in touch with our staff, and actually if I find out any more, I'll ban you from our salon permanently.
I mean, I got a message today. I won't name names because obviously that's stupid, but it's put, hiya pal, hope you're okay. I made a mistake of cutting my own hair in lockdown. Was wondering if you could sneak me in for a cheeky cut. It's alright, miss. Laugh out loud. And I'm like, yeah, no worries, I can put you in July. And he's just put thumbs up. And I'm thinking that half of these clients, like I said, they don't understand the stresses they're putting us under, because I know someone else is going to cut his hair now. So I could have easily said, right, 50 quid, I'll do it. Of course. But someone else is going to do that now. And I know. And like I said, I'm blessed that I'm sort of keeping myself above the water at the minute. I'm not earning any money. I've not earned any money like yourself, like other people haven't done for 8 weeks. But I'm still at the point where I'm not that desperate yet, thankfully. Yeah, no, absolutely. But there was a lot of hairdressers in Burnley. I can't tell you the names, but only because I don't want to get my windows put through. But in my town in Burnley, there is salons that are publicly advertising they will do hair.
I know, mate. I've seen it all on Facebook. But the problem is, if it's, I think that we can bloody talk about this, with Boris and everything. I still believe I probably wouldn't go back, just purely because of Megan being pregnant and me being, her being at sort of a slightly higher risk. But I do think it is, I think it's wrong that things like supermarkets and now, garden centres, hairdressing is a very clean, sanitised sort of thing. If you just made a rule where everyone that comes in, has to wear masks and gloves, and all, stylists have to wear masks and gloves, I think it could be done, in a safe environment. I really do. But that's only if people are going to do it properly, and you can't have one rule for one and not for the other. So
Do you think the
But
government are doing it the way they're doing it so that they can police it easier? Because, like you said, there's different jobs that are probably putting us at more risk than what we would do.
Mate, for sure. Absolutely. You don't really understand the logic, of when we are allowed. You look at some countries, they were back in phase 1, and then you see other countries, well, I think it's only us in bloody Ireland that are due in July. So,
Mad, isn't it?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. But, we've got to do what we're told, unfortunately, because, you can be, there's no point earning money if you're dead.
Good point, mate.
That's how I see it. You don't want to have the richest headstone, do you?
No. No, that's a good way of putting it. I mean,
so
we'll kind of wrap that one there because there's a lot of comments coming in on their opinion, as you can imagine.
Of course. No, I know, obviously, it's a real touchy one, so, I don't want to open
positive, though, mate. All sticking up for you and saying, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they're all good. But Andrea Miller's said, amazing interview, always honest. You're both an inspiration. Love you. And I kind of just want to answer that one for Andrea as well, because Andrea picked me up as a little ginger man from Burnley who no one had ever heard of and give me a chance. So I'm eternally grateful for Matrix for giving me that chance.
Mate, you'll do fine, buddy. You'll do fine. And again, anything I can help with, mate, I'm always just drop us a message.
Yeah, we'll work together one day. I'm positive of this. And
mate,
to end,
sure.
the best comment of the day. You are an amazing hairdresser. I'm so proud of you. The best there is.
Ah,
Have a
who's
guess.
that from? My
Lorraine
mum.
Stevenson. The Stevens.
Thanks, mummy.
So there you go, mate. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on, because this is not the first time. This is the second time you've
mate,
been on.
my pleasure. Just again, hat off to you, mate. Keep it going, and well done to all of your lovely viewers across the country and the world for watching, learning, and progressing yourselves.
I'm so shit at this naturally, but you've just reminded me then. I was meant to announce today at the beginning, I've just remembered, that next week, not this tomorrow, the Monday after, we are starting a new feature on Hair Socials because I've run out of ideas. So we've done 7 weeks and I've got another 8 weeks to fucking do. So as of next Monday, we are going Hair Socials live in America.
Wow.
We've got a number of artists that are based and living in America right now that are going to take us into their homes. So we're going to go live from America as of next week, but that's the first announcement of it.
Oh, mate, and also I'll tell you what, then I'll hook you up with some amazing ex-Matrix people in Australia as well.
Well, yeah, that's 1 week I've not confirmed, so you've just ruined that. But that's 1 week I've not confirmed yet. But in 2 weeks, I've got no Australian artists yet, but I'm trying my best to get them nailed on, so that'd be amazing.
Mate, I'll sort you out. I'll send some people some lists.
So thank you so much, Jamie. I'm going to say bye, but I won't say bye to you. I'll talk to you off there. But thank you very much, guys.
Take care, buddy.